This is Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. It's time for newspaper review.
And our newspaper reviewer, Chukwudi Okoli-Ubaja, is here this morning. Hello, Chuksupo.
I have been harassed by heat.
Oh.
You know, these days past.
Oh.
But I think that the public power supply started improving some 24 hours ago. I have that feeling. Did I read up that Gencos got some money from government? Yes, I think I did.
Gencos got some money from government. That's why the electricity supply has improved.
I want to think that it may be related. That's if we if we ensure that that story actually is true. That's the disbursement to Genco, because the complaint was that the distribution companies were not getting enough power, being pushed onto the lines because they were owing them. Yeah. You know, we have a lot of things to sort out.
So
but I think that power supply improved in my area.
I think it's too early to comment that power supply has improved. You know the way it's been. Tomorrow you may be hearing
it has been in the past 2 weeks.
Exactly.
And I know what happened in the past 24 hours.
Has been closer to hell, if
oh my God!
No,
and I pity children.
I want to sit close to anyone close to hell, please.
No, but talking about the power issue, talking about the power issue, looking at what's happening in Abia State at the moment, and all the solutions, they're getting as regards power. I think it's high time that we begin to look at, such alternatives, just so that we can have...
Before the exit of the Buhari administration, some leverage was given to states to be able to even engage in those initiatives. Yes. So if Abia has seized it ahead of many of us, that's commendable. Yeah. A friend of mine I called and said, I'm thinking about relocating to Abia because once I'm sure that uninterrupted power supply is going to be the case there, then I'm going to break even easily. My return on investment is going to be reasonably assured.
Very true.
And I thought it was making sense.
True.
Well, the marching order given to the discos and the Gencos by the National Assembly too, I think, sort of helped. Tell them, you need to up your game. We can't continue to be like this. No economy can grow without power.
If it is to the discos, the question is it actually the discos that are the issue here? Is it a distribution issue or a generation issue?
Generation.
You have to establish.
Yes, that's why I said the Gencos and the discos at the same time.
Okay,
yeah.
The two of them.
Yeah, let's quickly go to the papers now, and I have the Daily Trust newspaper, and just below the masthead, Tinubu to investors. Report any official who demands bribe. That's if you want to know why he said that, you go to page 28. NEF cautions against relocation of firefighting equipment. That's the details on page 5. Lobby Stars turn Casino United 2-0 to regain top spot. Find details on page 39. And a side piece of the picture story, Customs open 90-day window for vehicle duty regularization. Find details on page 24. Man who returned 100 million naira gifted Hajj slot, cash, and so many other things. You want to find out who he is? You go to page 6. Hisbah, strong push for Daurawa's return. Find the details on page 6. War on Gaza. Israel kills Palestinians collecting aid. That has caused a lot of uproar around the world. You want to read more about it, you go to page 28. And the headlines in the Daily Trust newspaper: residents loot Abuja warehouses, steal foodstuffs, roofing sheets. With riders, NEMA beefs up security at own facilities nationwide. Express your feelings responsibly, Shetima urges citizens. Address hunger, poverty, insecurity, Jibwis tells government. And the picture story you see, the Northeast Development Commission, NEDC, presents certificates, letters of automatic appointment to 60 electrical linesmen trained by the commission in collaboration with Mainstream Academy. inside the NEDC also donated a bus to Nigerian Arabic language village in Gala and a Hilux bus van to the Northeast Governors Forum, all in a ceremony held at the NEDC headquarters there in Maiduguri. NEDC reaching out and helping young men and women to move forward in life and sort of realize their dreams. It's a step towards being an engineer, and actually that's what we'll be discussing today.
It's a reflection of the African community life.
Yes,
we knew
and NEDC is doing a lot of that.
Before things started getting asunder. Africa knew its neighbors.
Yes.
We were brothers way back.
Yes.
This new age, whatever, is not African. So I like that. When you said it,
yes,
I was smiling inwardly.
Yes.
You know.
All right, let's take a look at what the Vanguard has to say now. The lead story: federal government fights inflation, mops up 5 trillion naira. Riders to raise interest rates, reprice fixed income yields. CBN meets foreign investors over FX reforms. NPR hike says there will be free entry and exit. That's the lead story on the Vanguard newspaper. Above the masthead, we have I harbor no grievance against Wike, says Ireti Kingibe. Details on page 31. Next to that, we have COVID-19 PERB refund or account for billionaire reps tell airlines. And just next to that, we have Nigeria, Qatar sign agreements in education, solid minerals, others. Pages 5 and 31 will bring you up to speed. Below the picture story, we have here, only implementation of agreement will stop nationwide strike, NLC insists. And looking away from that story now, we have this one on the Vanguard newspaper that reads, misinformation undermining military's fight against terrorism, and that is credited to the CDS. All right, so that's like all the much we can take from the front page of the Vanguard, but we have this one here: Abuja residents break into government warehouse. Of course, that's on all the papers this morning. So that's it.
That's the Vanguard newspaper.
Abuja residents breaking into a warehouse. And you begin to ask, is it that bad? But what I'm more interested in is the rather clumsy reportage of the event. And Nema is saying, no, it's not our warehouse that was broken into. That became the crux of the story. From a journalistic point of view, I didn't quite think that's how we should go about it. Then, as a footnote, they said they finally found out that the looted warehouse belonged to FCT Agric. So which one is actually the thrust of the story? Which warehouse actually got looted? Or the
FCT actually released a statement yesterday saying it was actually theirs. Of course, but you know, the reason why there was a rush to go to press is what we should be questioning. There should have been a confirmation before, you
that's
know,
the point.
you know.
And the denial back and forth, you know,
clumsiness in reportage could do a lot of damage. Look at one of the stories you read, for instance, misinformation undermining military's fight against terrorism. You see, when people take journalism lightly in this country, I laugh at them.
You always.
I keep telling you, till journalism takes its pride of place in this country, we're not going to make progress. If politicians think they have demolished these journalists, no, you didn't demolish any journalists, you demolished the country. The fourth estate of the realm should always be there to make you think twice about committing any offense against Mother Nigeria. You understand? So let's think properly. It's not journalism you're undermining. It's the country you undermine.
You rush to be the first to tell the story.
Exactly.
You know, destroys the very essence of the story itself. And you know, the denial back and forth, NEMA, FCT, and all that sort of, you know, underplayed what really happened.
That's where Juma and Chukwudi should come in and verify and say, look, this is exactly what happened. So, misinformation. I remember when the current president was campaigning, and I saw a lot of caricatures of him ailing, almost dying, you know. Please, Africans will say, his enemy dying, you know. And I wrote on Facebook, there's an exaggeration here. If this man is in this state, I don't see him ever thinking about elections. A senior journalist told me, why would you want to sound different? I said, there are certain things you see and you know that social media is just overfeeding itself on arrant nonsense. Now look at the president today and look at the kind of caricatures we saw there. Can you marry them? I'm not saying maybe he didn't have health issues initially, but it wasn't that bad. Social media distorts. And we have to be careful.
But maybe we should be guided by saying distorts, not completely, you know, to a certain level.
To a certain level.
Because sometimes social media actually gives us the right pictures, and sometimes it is on time, you know, compared to traditional media. So saying that it distorts all the time may not actually be true.
Well,
yes,
it's a good one.
You know,
it's a good one. But I'll quickly tell you, social media has no factuality assured all the time. It doesn't have fairness assured all the time. It doesn't have balance assured all the time.
Yes.
It doesn't have verification. So social media can never be equated with
the verification you're talking about is what I was trying to put forward to you.
Yes.
You know, when you want to verify stories, for example, you're listening to this breaking of the warehouse, for example, on radio. I mean, but for the social media, they have the pictures, they have voice, there's this real time.
Yes.
It's happening, and you're seeing it
real
time.
of arrant, destructive nonsense.
Real time telling.
Social media.
Don't say that to the Gen Z.
Social
I'm
media.
not the Gen Z, I'm the
Ladies,
Generation X.
My dear journalist, social media will come to an accident spot, see 5 inert bodies and tell you 5 people died in an accident, whereas about 4 of them are only unconscious.
Yes.
Are you getting it? So I am not saying that social media does not rush out to, but responsible information would always eventually come from journalistic activity.
All right, so we're talking about.
Did you see that? I said no. I have to wait for verification from.
That's the point.
I work in NTA, so you can't tell me anything. I have to wait to see it on my platform.
NTA is
first.
still responsible.
Yes, I have to wait to see it on my platform first.
All right, let's see if Daily Times has some verified stories here.
Okay.
We have this one here. Why Igbo won't protest against Tinubu by Umahi. That's been trending for a while now. I'm sure you want to find out you know what that is all about, and of course page 4 of the Daily Times would help you out. Above that story, we have summit projects, rapid growth in gas sector, reduction in domestic prices, and of course the story, I like the way the Daily Times puts this particular story on the looting. It says hungry residents loot Abuja warehouse, vandalize facility.
The story is this, Yere. Residents loot Abuja.
But if you're not hungry, why would you go to loot? I think I like this version.
Okay, some of the looted bags of rice may have been sold now by mercantiling tons.
Maybe because the hungry person doesn't want to eat rice, so rather trade it to get something else.
That's why they took from that warehouse. Roofing sheets.
Yeah, right.
Is roofing sheets food? Yeah.
It could be mercenary looting.
This is my.
She's
I'm not a Gen Z.
She's a Gen Z.
She's a Gen Z.
I'm not a Gen Z. I'm a millennial. I'm a millennial. No,
you're closer to the Gen Z.
She was trying to demolish a Demola and die with the Rosaire report thing the other time. And we told her experience is everything. We look
Experience is everything. Experience is everything.
Okay, well, I just have 2 more stories here quickly. NTA nabs Vietnam-bound businessman with cocaine at Abuja airport. And then this one in a red strip. It says, Reps Committee ask private airlines to refund 4 billion naira COVID-19 funds.
It's still echoing and re-echoing.
Echoing.
I don't know. Sometimes they begin to talk about man's inhumanity to man and say, oh, look, God didn't make a mistake creating us. Why would some people be so hard-hearted? What is the circumstance that creates such human beings? It doesn't make sense. You do not thrive or benefit from another person's misfortune. You don't do that. It has spiritual implications. But let me keep quiet.
Well, this administration is saying you cannot collect it and keep quiet. It's either you give it back since you didn't use it.
Oh, sure.
Or you share?
Yeah.
Is that an option?
No, you have to give it back. If you did not use it, give it back to government.
Exactly.
You can't eat and rub your mouth and keep quiet like before. If you collected money from government for anything,
it is called
if it is
accountability.
Exactly.
That's what it is called.
Called accountability.
And that's why the Western democracies are growing.
Yes.
In spite of the fact that they are not as religious as we are. you must be held to account.
You must be.
Okay, well, this is an interesting story in the Vanguard newspaper. Caught my attention. High cost of cement. Nigerians opt for container houses. Is that a new way we're going to go?
I'm not going to submit to the ploy to expose the fact that Chukwudi has not quite built a house yet. I wouldn't let that happen.
But I mean, should we be looking at this as an alternative?
Not to live in a container house.
Please.
You need AC.
But
it is container.
Isn't that cheaper than cement?
It is container.
Isn't that cheaper than cement?
Okay.
But the question is for electricity supply.
My dears, Nyere is making a point there.
Yeah.
Nyere is making a point. A situation where you can no longer afford cement to build a decent home is not good enough. In terms of heat absorption, you
could pad it.
Do you understand?
It could be padded.
Well, you could pad, but I don't think it's the best. In a way, though, this Ileni mentality by Nigerians, where some people go to the village, build a house that has 6 rooms, and they only stay in that house
during
3 days
Christmas.
During Christmas
or Salah.
Is stupid.
Yeah.
A white man will tell you, you're wasting money.
Why don't you use mud?
What's your problem?
The mud houses that were in the village before, were they not environmental friendly?
Is this now we get town mentality? There's something wrong with the black man's thinking over the possession of certain things. There are things we have. Many of the things we own today, we don't need them. We're not thinking constructively. We're not thinking commercially. We're not thinking like profit makers. We want to show that it's not only Jumai that can erect a story building in
Amen to that. And you're also going to build a house very soon.
And I believe you, because you always wish me well.
Okay. Not a container house. You're going to build a standard house. You say, I'm wishing you better because I'm being specific. I hear there's something about being specific when asking.
Actually, you warm me up on the program. You know I'm a cantankerous man, so when you dare me, I return fire.
All right. Thanks so much, Chikiri, for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
All right. So we'll take a break. We'll get into the conversation on our topic. We're talking about engineers and sustainable development. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us.